Killer head and shoulders on the one day played out. Certainly hope you tuned in on Tuesday night. It's Tex and Ads here with you from unitytradinggroup.com. We're going to dive into that formation in just a second. And that literally played out to the dollar. Absolutely killer call, man. And that's the beauty of doing this. We share different ideas. We show you exactly how we're trading and what we're seeing in the market. So let's get into this, man. BTC USD. Let's bring up that image because I think we own this. We own this. So we shared this on Tuesday night, and it was interesting because you gave me your point of view on this, and this is not something that I had seen myself when I was charting this. And I said to you, man, killer spot. I had absolutely no idea that was playing out on the 1 day time frame, and this is where on the 4 hour time frame rather. And this is where your formations in a market like this, a more liquid market, are more often respected than not. So
Yeah.
we did that at 61,878. It was actually a couple of hours before that because you shared that in the morning, and we did this on the update the night before. So it was around the 62-ish mark, I believe, or 63K mark before we dumped. So let's have a look at where we are now. That 58K fib respected to a T, brother.
Yeah.
Well done. That was you deserve the clout on that one. So I'll give you a couple of little fairy claps on that one. Well done.
Thank you. But it's not over yet. We're testing that neckline now. So if we're going to draw in the actual thing instead of what we had the other night and actually get the tool out, this is what it probably would have looked like to draw it out properly. So we have that there. It's actually a really nice formation. And then basically it's roughly down to here if you call it. So typically you're meant to take that and then you're meant to do that. So it's technically, roughly here. So whether or not that plays out as intended is another thing. However, we are testing that neckline as it stands, so roughly around this area here. I wouldn't say, it's exactly on, bang on. I would think 60K. I would think it would be, roughly around this liquidity that we're seeing here. So that's being tested as we speak. So whether or not that plays out or invalidates the head and shoulders and then we continue back to the upside will be something that we'll be looking forward to or be looking out for over the next couple of days.
Yeah, and I'll show. And this is, and please, all you, this I'm not drawing in Elliott waves or anything like that whatsoever. But what I'm finding is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These structures are playing out more and more often, particularly on on like your 1 hour and 4 hour time frames. And like I said, this is not me pretending like I know what I'm doing, because when it comes to Elliott waves and stuff, I absolutely don't. But these like little wave movements down, I'm seeing more and more across the smaller time frames on a number of assets at the moment. So I'm still a little bit cautious about being aggressively long on BTC, particularly what I would really love to see from an RSI standpoint is a break above that 50 and a nice 4 hour candle close above the 50 where we're into a little bit more sort of bullish territory. Looking at RSI, this would satisfy some of the over sort of sold conditions to a degree, but we've actually got an RSI video coming out next week that will show you some a little bit more high level RSI sort of stuff. Why the traditional 70 and 30 is not always what you should be looking for when it comes to overbought and oversold conditions. So yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic, but we've still got this sort of stuff happening at the moment. So for me, this level, if we chop down, then yes, certainly down to that 50 sort of, let's say 55 level would be a massive area of interest to me.
No doubt, no doubt. If we do have, that movement to the downside when we come down here and retest that 55 area,
That's it.
that would be spectacular for BTC because we've had such a run to the upside. Oops.
Yeah.
We've had
And we've
such a
still got to
run to
break
the upside
this.
for quite some time, yeah.
We've still got to break this.
Yeah.
So we've got to make some nice structure to the upside to sort of prove anything otherwise. But at the moment, this is just sort of like chop zone for me, really.
100%. And, we've had such a run to the upside for quite some time now. We've run from roughly around 40K to about 65. So that's quite a decent run without a meaningful pullback. You've had these flash dumps or, test of liquidity on the way up, which is great, but it's not sustainable. So to have a more meaningful pullback like 65 to 55 excuse me, in this instance, would be healthy for the trend in general. And if we flick over to the 1 day time frame, you can see how that would very nicely cool off our indicators in regards or in relation to the steamroller
100%.
indicator there. And of
100%.
course, it would mellow out the RSI as it stands there. Because if we move from here to 55, relatively speaking, in terms of the 1 day, it's not going to move too much in terms of the RSI as a whole. So it would be, or it would continue to be something or an area of interest for us on the 1 day time frame. So looking okay and looking very healthy for BTC. I saw some articles that got thrown around today, not specifically on our platform, but on Facebook and on some news websites where there's a bit of FUD saying that billions of dollars got wiped off the books for BTC. Don't buy into any of that stuff. It's just a meaningful pullback that needs to occur, and then we'll reassess and hopefully continue to the upside after that's happened.
And what I'd love to hear from you, if you are at this point in the comment section, I'd love to know, would you like us to produce a UTG fundamental market update once a week? Because obviously we dive into the fundamentals quite a bit myself, especially as a fundamental trader. China looking at reversing Bitcoin bans. We've got Evergrande still in the background there. We've got potential of strained Bitcoin ETFs. There's a whole bunch of news going on at the moment. Ripple and the SEC conversations going on at the moment. Brian Armstrong tweeting that the SEC conversations between them and the SEC are going quite well. So if you want to see this stuff, which could absolutely have an impact on the market, let us know in the comments below, and we'll produce something once a week for you. And I hope you're enjoying all the new content coming out from UTG lately as well. So like, support, and share this video, and get the YouTube algos pumping. All right, so if we're done on BTC, let's go to my favorite coin, ETH. And as I said last week, or as we've sort of said in the last little bit, there are opportunities to do shorter time frame trades at the moment. For me as a spot buyer, I'm happy absolutely doing that. I don't leverage trade. I don't need to. But, this was a really beautiful opportunity based on those fib levels. I had a buy set at 3890 because I always set buys a little bit higher than fib levels. And I'm riding this trend upwards until we continue to potentially move to the downside. But we've seen Ethereum run independently of BTC a little bit as of late. And as you can sort of see, we're kind of in a little bit of a range between that 4.2 level and this 3.9 level at the moment. So seemingly respecting these fibs really well in this previous little area that we were at. So for me, I would really want to see a confident close above, let's say, 4,300 if we were to continue back up to the upside. If not immune from this BTC dump. So don't misconstrue me saying that ETH having independent runs means it's independent of Bitcoin always. It certainly isn't. But at the moment, for me, ETH looking pretty decent, man. This is a nice little candle at the moment we've got here. But this is going to be telling for me.
It is, and absolutely agree with you. And my thoughts, reiterating what you've just said, or adding content or value to that. This level of supply here, as we have tested it once, twice, three times. The thing that concerns me in terms of this level here, and because you mentioned this area, I wholeheartedly agree. We've got these retests subsequent to the first one that we moved through it quite substantially, but everything that happened after that didn't really push through as meaningful. Not to say that we won't come through and make this trade as we have drawn it into ETH. It hasn't happened identically, but it has followed that trend pretty well. So I would be very interested to see if we do start to make movements into this level of supply, because we do have the legs to do that. We are pushing back up over the 50 in terms of the RSI. We are pushing to the upside or to the upwards direction, or taking an upwards trajectory on the steamroller indicator as well. And that gives us plenty of volume and plenty of steam, or plenty of legs, should we say, for ETH to come up, retest that 4,200 zone, and hopefully move through that level of supply to give us that high scenario and continue the trend to the upside, as we have drawn in, or as we did draw in on Monday.
100%. Yeah, I think we're pretty well aligned on that one, man. One I am really interested to have a look at the moment is XRP. Third from the top. So
Oh, sorry. Yep.
if you at the moment, of course, Shiba Inu doing just absolutely bonkers things. I brought up I brought up my chart for the first time this week on Shiba, and I had this parallel channel set, and actually an alert set that must have fired that I had missed. That was like 365% to go. So I was actively involved in Shiba at one point, trading it a little bit, and I looked at that the other day, and I've not even bothered putting a chart back up on it because it pissed me off so much. So XRP is not another one that I'm going to miss. You know, Ads and I's thought about XRP, and as I said a moment ago, Brian Armstrong, the head of Ripple, was posting recently this week saying that chats between he and the SEC are actually going better than expected. So they're obviously trying to talk about Ripple not being a security. There, you know, a lot of things have changed in the interim between when the SEC initially filed that suit, based on where we are now and the decision on other coins and assets. So, you know, for myself, I am very interested, and this is not any financial advice whatsoever. I am interested in where Ripple goes in the next couple of months based on these conversations. So from that, do what you will with XRP, but a nice recovery on XRP from this 61 golden sort of pocket level. Yes, we had that wick to the downside, but if we just go to the daily time frame for a sec, Ads, I did share something with some of our guys earlier today, and I'm just going to bring up my chart if I can recreate it on the daily time frame.
Did you want me to bring up your chart here?
Well, hang on. Let me just get rid of this, and then you can recreate it. I shared this with the guys today. I'll put this in the chat for us, just because I can't be bothered to try and recreate it in here, man. Just give me 1 second. How do I chat to you? Now I've taken all my TA off it just to highlight this this one thing for you. Copy link to chart image. So just there in the chat. And this is something that I'm very interested on XRP at the moment. And it's respected this parallel channel very, very well thus far. So for myself, the fact that we've had quite a nice recovery here on this parallel channel, I'm really interested to see if we can get something like this in the next little bit, at least back up towards that $1.20 mark in the interim anyway on XRP. So that's something that I'm watching actively at the minute, Ads.
Looking okay. Looking good.
Yeah.
I like that. I definitely...
Use those OVV things, by the way. I was just fucking playing around with that a moment ago. So,
but that's fine. Because it does align with what I was just drawing onto the chart just a moment ago, where we've had on the daily time frame, or definitely on a higher time frame, we've had the swing low to swing high. That swing high made a higher high in terms of, you know, our price action to the left. Of course, we're looking at this liquidity to the left-hand side here. And of course, pulled back to the 61. And then, you know, it could be that sort of scenario like this, which does align with what you just mentioned or what you just showed on your chart.
It actually does, yeah. I wasn't... There's that alarm. I'm going to turn that off. I had it on silent and everything. But yeah, absolutely aligns with... I think we're pretty well aligned there. And again, if you want that for a little bit of clarification, let's wait to see the reaction we get at this 50 RSI on the daily. Steamroller, admittedly, probably has a little bit left to cool off. But as we've said many times before, when Steamroller gives us these indications of where it heads, sometimes when we're in certain environments, we need to sort of put some of these indicators to the wayside and trust our TA a little bit more, and maybe put a little bit more weight on something like an RSI, for example. So for me, I'm not overly paying attention to this right now. This is more interesting to me, and exactly what Ads has there is more interesting to me at the moment. So XRP, do with that what you will.
If I may make a point, however,
please, sir.
Not to be the bearer of bad news or anything of that nature.
Come on, man! Don't shit on me. Come
on. Just take into consideration the Bitcoin's moves. I guess if you were looking at altcoins,
yeah, totally, very well said.
In general, this comes down to Ethereum as well. So don't think anything is immune. But if BTC does decide to have a decent rejection to the price action that we're seeing. Or seeing now, that 3.334% upside that we're seeing at the moment, if it decides to have that rejection and continue down to 55, we're going to see these USDT pairs or USD pairs in general follow suit in some way, whether or not we continue to hang around the 5061 in this instance with XRP, and a very similar instance for ETH. We might not see this continuation immediately. It might take a little bit more time to play out. Not to say that it won't play out, just to say it might take a little bit more time or give you more opportunity, for a decent buy-in if we're going to be looking for that upside, especially on the USDT pairs, in general.
Yeah, totally. And every time that I've traded XRP, the shorter time period I hold it, the more it gives me the more it frustrates me. And it's always that period where I've gone, you know what, XRP is going to eat it again. It pumps like a mofo. So I think XRP is one of those coins where you would allocate some to a little bit of an investment and then just sort of lock it away and then see what happens in a little bit of time. Like, don't go trading XRP looking for moonshots, because it can equally sort of reject. But I think if you are employing some appropriate strategies into XRP, I think fundamentally it's certainly one of the projects that may be worth a long-term hold.
Look, it's been around for
OG coin.
Yeah, it's the original, one of the original, cryptocurrencies. Yes, it's not decentralized, yada yada yada. We all know that spiel.
But that's not a terrible thing, man.
No, it's not, because you get the opportunity of something that's backed by, I guess, a tangible company for one, and then you have the opportunity to trade that asset, based on what that company does in regards to their decisions made and everything like that. Yeah. And then you've got the stability of having an asset that's like this or fast enough to use, I guess, practically to move money around.
Yeah, and they're doing everything right in terms of regulatory actions. They're playing well with the SEC. They're always trying to do the right thing and establish themselves as a reputable company within cryptocurrency that is often seen as a cowboy sort of industry. Yeah. We've seen things like that, like I said, with the likes of Shiba Inu and TikTok is pumping Doge, which has just done 41% in this last candle, by the way, something stupid. But in saying that, if I were looking at a project to back from a fundamental standpoint, XRP Ripple would be like right up there. There's absolutely nothing there that would stop me from doing that. So, I think if they get past this SEC stuff, it's going to mean a lot for XRP as a coin, and then I think it will mean a lot for Ripple and all that moving forward for them to potentially follow in the footsteps of what we've seen with Coinbase, in my opinion. So I think it's definitely one to watch. That's a long-winded explanation, but man, don't count these guys out.
I won't. I promise you.
Not talking to you, talking to everyone else who shits on XRP.
Look, I respect everyone's opinion.
Of course, but we don't have to agree with it, do we?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Thank you all for watching.
All right. Well, I think maybe we'll cut it there. Let's have a quick look at Doge. Actually, I have to, because this has just done a mega pump, and I posted. And listen, I didn't call this, but the other day we had a triangle or a diagonal retest on Doge, and we had our first long signal on Unicorn in quite a little bit of time on the higher time frames. And I said to the guys, I said, maybe this is something to look at. Well, yes, we rejected, but now we've gigapumped after that rejection. So we've had, I think it was a 41% candle on this particular move. So as stupid as this sounds, man, don't discount the dog meme coins. There was actually a Twitter post that someone posted about 5 or 6 months ago where a guy put 100 grand into like 12 or 10 or 12 different dog themed meme coins. It had like a $2.3 million return. On some coins he'd lost tens of thousands of dollars, but most of them absolutely chatted. So I'm not telling you where to put your coins by any means, but sometimes these projects are very interesting, and you wonder why. People go, the TikTokers is making a joke at the industry. Yeah, cool, but there's a lot of TikTokers getting rich out of there off these fucking meme coins. So,
yeah.
So it pisses me off as as someone who sticks to TA and sticks to the ETH and all that sort of stuff. And I'm not complaining. Like we do okay, but at the same time, I'd love to jump on like a 400% move. So we need to be more across these TikTok channels, man. I swear to God, we've got to set something up. We've got to set up a channel inside Discord and follow these TikTokers, because they're pumping markets.
Well, they got the following,
Yeah,
got the
yeah,
eyes in
and they
front of
got
it.
enough stupid people who are willing to put money into something, and it just keeps working. We had so many people inside the Discord today say, "Oh, I'm talking to people at work, and like they're putting
Yeah,
money into
yeah.
Shiba." Or I heard them talking about cryptocurrency the other day, and I asked them what they bought, and they said Shib. And the joke's on us because they're they're making mad coin off these things.
Yeah, but they don't sell.
No, they
They don't
just
sell.
hold and hold and hold. And
Like
we
that.
actually charted this back here the other day. Oh yeah, it was. It was like 3 or 4 days ago. And I said to the guys, I'm like, catch this on this like 61 retest. This is a good place to long from here if you're in it. And I wasn't, and that was like 100% ago or something. So should have taken my own advice.
Look, it's fine if you sell.
Yeah,
If you follow the mass, if you follow the hype, it's great. But you got to sell it.
yeah,
You're not going to make nothing if you just hold it, because as fast as it came up, it's going to come back down.
yeah, 100% it will. And a lot of people are going to get hurt. Like this reminds me of GameStop.
This is standard, mate.
Yeah, this is
This is
this is
standard.
GameStop, crypto GameStop.
Yeah, this is standard cryptocurrency Wild West.
A lot of people are going to get shat on.
Oh, well, how many times have we had this conversation over the years, mate?
Yeah, and how many people listen? Few,
Yeah.
few. But anyway, that's just a couple of old diggers' thoughts on the market. We sound like old men discussing it like
Well,
this.
we've had this conversation so many times, about ICOs, about uh, other coins, you know, coins that are at 97 RSI. How many times have we... yeah, anyway, whatever. Cool.
Anyway,
What do we know?
shit. Yeah, but honestly, again, Doge being one of those coins where a giga pump on Doge will often signal the start of a bit of an altcoin run.
Okay.
So definitely pay attention to Doge after what it's just done there. It's just done a massive move. Like let's not TA it, but if I was interested, I'd be looking back down around that sort of 28 cent mark myself personally, between 28 and 27 cents if you want to consider something on Doge. So I'll give you a little bit of that if you've been watching along. But yeah, BTC, keep an eye on that because that's going to dictate this market. Today, standard Thursday dump happens all the time. So, be expected for some potentially radical moves over the next couple of days leading into the weekend and a lowered trading volume. And then interesting to see what happens into weekly close next week as well and whether we continue up. No doubt from BTC, fundamentally long term, we know where it's going. So, consider this as a bit of a blessing if you aren't in the market yet.
Very good.
All right, thank you all so much. Recently, hey, before you go, make sure you check out our moving averages video that we published yesterday. A really beautiful little deep dive into trading with moving averages, something that I use a hell of a lot. That really changed the way I trade and a lot of my results based on that as well. But of course, subscribe to this YouTube channel. We got lots of content coming out. Everything that you do, your likes, comments, or shares are appreciated so much by us. This doesn't come easy to produce all this content, and we do it all 100% free. So your comments and feedback really mean a lot to us. So thank you so much. UnityTradingGroup.com, and we'll see you on the next episode of the UTG Market Update.
Catch us later. Thanks for joining.